Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this sales funnel build and creation guide, you're going to learn how to set up a fully functional sales funnel, launch your business, grow your email list, and of course make some sales by spending $0 on software. So we're going to be using 3 pieces of software that are free forever to build your entire funnel, grow your email list, collect payments, and we're not going to do any of those 14-day or 30-day trial shenanigans. This software is actually going to be 100% free as long as you're under 1,000 subscribers. But at that point, hopefully you're already making some cash and you have more money to invest in some software. So go ahead and check out the timestamp table of contents in the description, along with some other helpful links that'll walk you through how to do the copywriting for your landing pages and sales pages, how to put together your email sequences, the actual writing portion, and of course, some tutorials on how to drive Facebook and YouTube ads traffic to your new funnel. So with that, let's go ahead, jump right in. The very first piece of software we're going to be using for our landing page and our sales page and our email sequences is going to be a piece of software called MailerLite. Now, what's great about MailerLite is it allows you to pretty much set up the entire front part of your funnel. It doesn't have the ability to collect payments, but something that's really great is, if you look at this pricing table, as long as you're under 1,000 subscribers, it is free. So it checks the box on allowing us to build a sales funnel for nothing. I actually recommend MailerLite now instead of MailChimp because MailChimp is actually phasing out the ability to have automated email sequences on their free plan. So that's a huge update and difference, and that's why we're using MailerLite instead of something like MailChimp, even though MailChimp does have a free plan. So you can go ahead and set up a free account, and they'll ask you a couple of onboarding questions just to make sure you're not going to be spamming on their servers, and you'll be good to go. And even if you're in the approval process, you can set everything up while your account's getting approved. So the very first thing you want to do once you have logged in is actually come over here to Forms, and we're going to put together our landing page. So inside of Forms, you'll be able to create pop-ups, embed forms, promotions, but here we want to actually put together a landing page. So I'm going to come up here and click Create Landing Page for our funnel. So we'll go ahead and give our landing page a name. This is going to be an internal name, so you can use whatever naming conventions you have to stay organized. Save and continue, and then you'll be asked the subscriber group for this particular landing page. Now, when you first set up your account, they're automatically going to create a default subscriber group for you, and so that's the one I recommend you use when you first set up your funnel. You can always create more groups later. You can see here that I actually created a group for this particular funnel, and I'll show you how to create that when we get to the automation part of the tutorial towards the end. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that click that box for now. You can always change this later, and then they're going to display a bunch of beautifully designed templates that really we just don't want to use. And even though all of these templates look great, I'm going to go ahead and just click on the product template because you don't want to overcomplicate the process of your design. You just want to get this up and running as quickly as possible. And so you can just use this product one, and it's going to be very simple to modify everything you need to get your landing page done. And now that it's loaded and we're inside the landing page builder, you can see here we have on the left-hand side a preview of what the landing page is going to look like. And then you have all of these elements that you can easily click and drag over to the design. So it's very, very basic, but remember, we're not paying anything for this. So, and we don't need anything fancy for our landing pages. So here I'm actually going to just pretty much delete 99% of the elements that they have because it's not necessary. And just like that, I've pretty much deleted all but the image and headline and then a divider bar. And so I'm going to click and drag this divider bar up top here, and then I'm going to give our headline and give it away. We're putting a headline on the landing page. That's the very first thing we want to do. So I'll click and drag this title element over, and of course I highly recommend that you write all your landing page copy and your sales page copy before you dive into doing all the technical stuff. It's just best to have all the creative done, so this is a lot less stressful because trying to build a page and write it at the same time, you're just trying to use 2 different parts of your brain, and it's not going to work out too well. So I have a document here that already has all of our copy, so I'm just going to scroll down and start copying the headline and the elements that we need. So the very first thing we need is the headline. So I'll go ahead and drop that title in there. You can click on design and change how it looks. Again, this is a free piece of software. You don't have a tremendous amount of control, but we'll go ahead and leave it at that. And of course you can change the background, and you can also change the font color, style, alignment. I'm not gonna get into that. You can play with that all you want. We'll just leave it at this plain gray. But I do want to change the amount of space between this bar and the title. So I can click on design and move this bottom spacing over. Let's move it down to 10. I think that looks good. Okay, great. So we have our headline. The next thing that we need is our pop-up form to actually get people to sign up to our email list. So I'll go ahead and click the pop-up form element, and I'll click on it again. This is going to be a YouTube webinar. So I'm going to click over here, click here to watch the training, copy my text. You see, it's a lot easier to put this together if you already have all your text done. And then I'll click underneath here, click here to edit the pop-up, and now we'll be able to change this text to give it a title and then a quick subheadline. The button text, we're going to say, register now. There we go. Click save. And of course, you can actually change the color and style of this button if you go over to settings here. And you can also add form fields if you want. Now, something with the email list integrations is you can click on settings here, and when you click on hidden segmentation fields, this is where you can get fancy with your email automation. I definitely don't recommend playing with this when you first get started, but there is the ability to expand and add complexity if you absolutely think it's necessary. I definitely don't, so I'll go ahead and click save, and then I'll X out of this guy, and oh shoot, I just deleted it. So if you ever accidentally delete something, you can just come up here and click undo. Definitely did not want to do that. I actually want to duplicate this, and I'm going to bring the button right down here. So I'm going to want it at the end. Now for this main place, this is where I recommend having some sort of image of whatever you're offering to get people onto your email list, and then a couple of bullet points. So I already have my bullet points written, so I'll just go ahead and copy them over. And now that I have my bullet points in and I've given it a quick title, it's time to swap out this image for one that is actually relevant to the offer being made. So I'll go ahead and click on Edit Image. So I'll go ahead and delete the image and then go ahead and upload my own. So I don't have any, so I'm going to upload an image. I have one already saved in my downloads folder. Once I've uploaded it, I'll just go ahead and click select, and now it's dropped in there. Now the nice thing about this particular interface is you can actually click on edit image and play with the dimensions so that it doesn't look so bad or so ugly here. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and click save, because that's all we need for our landing page. We have our headline, a button so that they can enter their name and email, a couple of bullet points, and a image. Is it the best looking landing page in the world? No, of course not. You could definitely play a lot more with this. I'm just going fast here to show you how you can set this up for free. Now for the success page, this is actually where you're going to have your sales message. So if you have a small sales letter, or you're doing a one-time offer, or if you're doing affiliate marketing, then this is where that affiliate offer is going to be. So whatever offer is being made, this is the page that we'll use for it. Now in my particular instance, I have a webinar here, so I'm going to click on my thank you page copy, and I'm just going to copy the Vimeo URL, which is the second piece of software I recommend using for free. Definitely you want to be using Vimeo for your sales messages and presentations, not YouTube, because Vimeo, even with the basic plan, you have up to 500 megabytes upload or 5 gigabytes total, and you're going to be able to put a couple of sales videos in your free Vimeo account and then embed them here. So we can click on the video element. I'll click and drag that in here, and then click on it so I can edit it, change the source to Vimeo, and then drop in my Vimeo URL and click on save. Now obviously this page isn't looking all that great, so let's go ahead and delete these other elements because they don't really need to be here. And of course we do need a button, because once someone watches, we need them to actually click through to purchase the product or go to the affiliate website. So we'll go ahead and click and drag the button. We'll click here. For this particular instance, we're selling an information product, so I'm just going to have the button text enroll now, select it to open in a new window, and go ahead and click save. We'll come back here to put in the shopping cart URL, which is going to be the third piece of free software that we're using. And the page is looking pretty plain, so let's go ahead and give it a headline here. I'll just copy my headline text and then use the title element to quickly drop in a headline. And this is all you need for your confirmation and sales page. Really, it doesn't need to be any more complicated than this. If it's text and pictures, then you can use the text and picture elements here to sell your product, service, or affiliate product. So I'm going to go ahead and click save, and then I can preview the page. And you can see our landing page here turned out just okay. And because it's so basic, it actually very easily reformats to mobile. So the more you try to get fancy with your pages, the harder it's going to be for something to reformat to mobile. Whereas this is still pretty readable and usable on a mobile device. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of the preview and click next to finish the setup of the first part of our sales funnel. Now, as a free account, you're not actually going to be able to put in a custom domain. So you can just leave it at this, or you can come up with something fancy. Go ahead and give your page a title. So this title is what's actually going to show up in the tab when someone sees it. So you definitely want to make sure that this isn't something weird and internal. And the meta keywords and descriptions, I definitely don't recommend doing for a landing page. You don't want this being shown on Google search results. And we'll go ahead and click save and continue. I'm not going to worry about the Facebook sharing. But if you are going to be doing promotions on Facebook, then you definitely want to make sure that you create a custom image for your landing page via the Facebook dimensions, and of course fill in those blanks. So now landing page is good to go, so we can go ahead and copy this URL and see what it looks like live. This is as complex as you need to be when you're first getting started with your sales funnel. Now, the next step in the process is setting up the payments part. So we have our landing page, we have our sales page, and now it's time to make sure that we can actually accept payments, and then we'll get into how to easily set up your email automations using MailerLite. So for your payments, you're actually going to be using a free piece of software called Wave Accounting. And what Wave Accounting allows you to do is set up a checkout cart. There's not going to be upsells and downsells. We're not getting fancy here, but you're going to be able to collect payments and then set things up so that if you have a membership site or you have content, you can easily deliver it to them via MailerLite or just via a pop-up inside of Wave using Zapier. Now, the first thing you want to do is once you've created your free Wave account, you can just Google search Wave Accounting. It'll be one of the first search results. So to create a new checkout, all you have to do is click on Create Checkout and then give your product or service a name, the price. If you need someone's phone number, you can ask for that. If you need their physical address because you're going to ship them something, you can ask for that as well. And then this is the part of the process that's actually going to have to be manual on your part. So if you're delivering some sort of digital content, this box right here is where you're going to be able to give them a direct link in order for them to access the content. If you have some sort of automated sequence that you want them to go through, then you can just type up a quick message here letting them know that they need to enter their name and email on this next page, the URL that you're providing to them, in order to receive their content. Of course, Wave will actually give you notifications so you can manually go and deliver whatever the content is. It's not automated, it's not perfect, but it is free, and free is most important when you're just getting started online. And here's a quick summary of what the shopping cart will actually look like. And so once you've created your shopping cart, we need to go back over to MailerLite and change our button so that it goes to this page. So I'm going to copy the URL of this particular checkout, and then I'll go back over to MailerLite here, and I'll go back into our funnel settings to change that button. Under Forms and Landing Page Settings here, I'll go ahead and click on Design and edit the design, and then we'll go to the success page and drop in that URL. The landing page that's already good to go will load. We'll click on the success page, click on our Enroll Now button, and go ahead and drop in that URL and click Save. So that way when someone clicks on our Enroll Now button, they'll actually be taken to the checkout page. And that's all there is to it, to getting all of your funnel pages set up. So we have our landing page, our checkout page, and of course the sales page that connects the two in the middle. So before we jump into automations, if you want to create different groups for each one of your lead generation funnels, then you're actually going to click on subscribers and then click on groups. And here's where you can add new groups. So you see we have our default group here, then we have the one that we set up, and we can go ahead and click Create Group. And when you do this, when someone enters their name and email on the landing page, they'll be added to the group that you want them to be added to. So if you're going to be fancy, I definitely don't recommend setting up more than one group in the beginning. But when you're creating more than one landing page, you're doing this again, this is where you're going to want to go first every time you go through this process. So I'm going to go ahead and click on cancel here. So let's now go over to automations and set up some emails to go out to people who enter their name and email on that landing page and drive them back to the success page. So you see I have a workflow 1 here. Let's go ahead and create a new automation for our funnel. I'll name it the same as a landing page, and then when I'll use the trigger when a subscriber joins a group. And what group? We're going to have the people who signed up for the webinar. I'll go ahead and click on this, click on save, and now we can go ahead and start either sending emails or setting up some custom triggers. So the very first thing we want to do is send them a welcome email. Just send out an email letting them know, hey, you're registered, here's the link to the training. So we have our email here. We'll go ahead and give it a headline, and I actually have all the emails already written because I definitely recommend doing, that's the hard part. So we'll go to email 1 here. We'll copy our headline, and then we'll click on design email to copy and paste our content. Now, I actually am not a huge fan of having fancy looking email templates. I think plain text is the way to go. So I'm just going to choose the rich text editor for our email here, and then go ahead and copy and paste in our email copy. And of course, there's always going to be formatting issues. So just go ahead and delete all the extra spaces, and we'll be good to go. And of course, all this bottom text is just required because of anti-spam laws. So we'll go ahead and leave that alone and click on done editing. Now, of course, you will want to hyperlink to your success page that actually has the sales presentation on it. I'm just skipping that step for time purposes. And now we can go ahead and create a new automation. So what I definitely recommend in the beginning doing is just doing a delay, having 1 day, and then go ahead and create your next message. So we'll create an email here. I'll go down to email number 2, and we'll just take the first headline. We're not split testing here yet. And that'll be our subject, and I'll go ahead and click save instead of going through the process of designing the email, because what I want to show you is when you click here, you can actually set up some conditions. Now, this is something that you don't have to do when you're just starting, but it is pretty cool that you can do this in free software. So we click on define condition, come over here to create a condition based upon workflow activity, and then select the previous email. Now with the previous email, I had to jump cut ahead because apparently it won't let you set this up unless you've pasted the text in. So I did that off camera just to save time. But if you want to set something up based upon the previous email, they are going to force you to put in your text. So I just pasted text in there real quick so I could show you. Workflow activity, email, and then select. Was it open? Was it not? Did they click any link? And so this is something that you can do because if someone hasn't opened your emails or they're not clicking the links, then you probably don't want to keep sending them information about the particular offer or webinar. You probably want to splinter them off and either stop trying to sell them because they're not opening your emails or they're not clicking on them, or try and sell them something else. Or you can do one of those survey type emails where you say, hey, I noticed you're not clicking on the links, you're not clicking on the emails. Like, did I get something wrong? Like, what's going on? Are you just not interested in this? And you'd be surprised how many people actually respond to those types of emails that say, hey, did I get it wrong? And so that's a great little advanced strategy that you can do. But you'd go ahead and go through probably 5 to 7 emails max for this sequence, and you'd be driving traffic back to that success page. And with that, you have a completely automated sales funnel ready to go. Now, as we wrap up here, there are 3 keys to success when it comes to making sure that your sales funnels are successful. The first key to success when building your very first sales funnel is making sure that you keep it simple. You really only need 3 pages. You need your landing page, you need a sales page, and you need a way to collect payments. That is it. There's a lot of fancy software out there that talks about upsell sequences, downsell sequences, automated shopping cart abandonment sequences. That's all great if you have a bunch of traffic coming through. But if you're only making a couple sales a month, it's not going to make a whole lot of sense to create an advanced automation like that because you're still trying to figure out how do I get customers in the door. So really, complexity is the enemy of sales funnel success when you're just starting. Now, the second key to success when it comes to putting together your sales funnel actually has more to do with what happens before your sales funnel, and that is where is your traffic coming from? Something that's really easy, a big trap that new sales funnel builders fall into is they see other larger entrepreneurs, creators, and influencers who are already successful. They seem to have ads on every platform. platform. They seem to have a content strategy on every platform, but nobody starts out that way. So when you're just getting started, choose one platform that you want to focus on becoming really good with your advertising, or one platform where you really want to focus to become good with your content marketing. Because when you try and do everything, you spread yourself too thin, and you're not going to be able to build the skills you need to be successful on those platforms, and it's going to be very hard to compete with people who have a much larger budget and team. Now, the third key to success when it comes to putting together your new sales funnel is patience. I know it's something that nobody wants to hear. The one funnel away mantra just sounds really cool because you just put together one more funnel and everything's going to work out. Those sales are magically going to come in. And really, that's just not true. It's a terrible, terrible way to approach your business and funnel building. When you put together a sales funnel, all it is a process of taking people who already know, like, and trust you and say, hey, I have this really cool thing that I think is going to be valuable to you. Sales funnels are not a magic pill. They're just one small piece of the bigger picture of building a business. So definitely don't go into this thinking that just in a month or two, you're going to be able to quit your job from building one or two sales funnels. Like, that's really not how it works. It's great in terms of the shiny marketing messages and all those other funnel building softwares that tell you that you just have to use their software and you'll be super successful. But that's just not the reality of what it is like when you're actually building a funnel from scratch for the first time. So thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope you got some value out of this video and you see how you can actually put together a sales funnel with zero out of pocket. The possibilities are endless. So make sure you check out the links in the description to a video that walks you through how to write all of your landing and sales page copy, how to put together those emails, what to put in those emails, and then also some playlists that walk you through how to use Facebook and YouTube advertising if you decide that one of those two platforms is good for you to focus on. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more in-depth funnel building tutorials just like this one, and until the next, keep building the business you love.